Mute yourselves.
Buonasera signore e signori, benvenuti alla terza ESC Fan TV anteprima annuale dell'84esimo Festival della Canzone di Sanremo. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the third, believe it or not, annual preview for the Sanremo Festival of Song. Benvenuti ai nostri ospiti nella chat room. That's hello to everybody in the chat room. We've already got Neil, Anita, Thomas, and Anya. So fantastic. Thank you for joining us. There'll be more later on. E buonasera ai miei ospiti in studio. That's welcome to my guests in the studio from top to bottom. Phil e Michelle. Buonasera, Phil and Michelle.
Buonasera.
Hello.
Hey.
Nice to see you. Phil's looking after the production for me today because he thinks I can't manage it myself. He's not wrong. Just below Phil and Michelle, Ian, who's done all our videos for this evening, is our video master. And you'll be joined by Donna a little bit later on when she gets in from the office.
Indeed, yes. She's on her way as we speak.
And below that, we've got Eugenio. Buonasera, Eugenio from Glitterbeam Radio.
Buonasera.
Wow, special guest for tonight. We're very lucky to have you. We are delighted that we're going to be joining you tomorrow night. We'll hear a little bit more from you about that as we go on. Lena, it's an American what time of the day?
Oh, it's 1 p.m.
You're in your lunch hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what have you got behind us that you're going to be talking about?
So I put together a collage of a lot of our your friend and mine, Fiorello, co-host, with lots of his friends and guests over the years, because I love him and I think he just brings so much humor to the show that is needed when it's dragging in the middle. So, and he's like a good friend lots of times to, like, here's him making out with Gali from 2020, if anyone remembers that. Here's him and Mahmood as nuns. Here's him and Achille Lauro. I'm sure we're all going to talk about the chicken dance incident later.
Well, don't spoil all the fun. We are going to talk about the chicken dance. And hi from Glitterbeam as well. We've got Mikey. Hello, Mikey.
Hi, how are you doing?
Very, very well. So how many years have you been watching Sanremo? You're not about a million years like everybody else, I believe.
No, so actually Eugenio introduced it to me. So for me, it's been about 3 years, but I have been hooked on it ever since the first night that we covered it. I think it's fantastic. Absolutely love it. I love the scandals and everything as well.
Okay, and how would you rate this year so far?
Oh, this year it has been so difficult to pick like bad ones. That's the thing, because like all of them have been so great. It's such a strong lineup. It was the first time where I've watched it and I have liked everything, almost everything.
Excellent. Right, we're going to go to look at the first night. So the first night, all 30 singers took part, presented their songs. It lasted for 5 hours. I didn't get to the end of it, but everybody else apparently did. But here are the 5 top scorers from night 1.
Nella zona nord quando mi chiamavi fra, con i fiori nella tuta gold, tu ne fumavi la metà.
So that was the first night. Do you want me to explain how it works? Because I'm not actually sure I can. Eugenio, 20 seconds. tell us how the voting works during the week
Okay.
without
So
taking a breath.
first night, only the press, TV, and web voted. All 30 and the top 5 was revealed. Second and third night, 15 and 15, so split in two, voted by the televoting and the jury of radio stations, Italians and all around the world. Tonight, all three juries, televoting, jury of the radio, and press, TV, and web, will vote 33% each. Tomorrow, all 30 just televoting, then the top 5 gets declared, and that again kicks in the last voting with all three juries again voting from 0.
We're never going to remember that. What did you think of the first 5 songs from the first night?
I loved them personally.
Go on, Mike.
I did love them, although I do think that Big Mama was robbed. That's just my opinion. But I did love them. What I was really appreciating is seeing all of the singers from Napoli. I mean, there was loads. And after obviously me and Antonio spoken about different things, it was nice to see.
I think what was different this year is that you could only find out who came in the top 5 places. We have no idea whether Diodato came last or 6th, or where Il Volo came. Ian, how did you find the first night?
Long, I think, was the best description. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. As Mike is saying, the standard this year is very high. Normally, there's a few songs I'm like, oh, well, I don't know without that one. But yeah, this one's been really good. I have to say my brain had slightly melted by the end, and the last few songs did rather blur together into sort of, here's the slow ones, here's the fast ones, but overall it's great, and a nice set of returning artists as well. So yeah, it's a good, very high standard, very across the board.
So Michelle, Loredana Berti, now she came top of the board in the first night. She's been returning since about 1980. What did you think of her outfit and her hair and her song? Oh, take yourself off mute, you daft.
I'm not pressing any buttons, am I? It's not me. It's
Can't get the staff, can you?
the bloke who's in charge of the buttons next to me. Oh, that'll be on next Friday's episode. So I think I appreciate a woman who has a handbag. It's like, what does she keep in that handbag? She's never without it. It's always there.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer to that. I saw an article. Apparently, it's the transmitter for a radio mic.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
rather than having it
disappointing.
sewn into a clothes like some people.
I thought it
do
was
in the
like
bag.
20 Benson and Edges or something. and a few euros. I think the hair's brilliant. It takes a lot to keep up a hairdo like that as well, because it grows out really quickly and it fades. And I think she just wears what she wants, and it's ace. I mean, you could almost see a hoo-hoo at one point, and it's like she's like going, I'm just going to wear what I want. And I think her reasoning for doing it, she said that she really wants to go to Malmö just so that she can annoy Bjorn Borg, her ex-husband. If that's not a reason for going to Eurovision, I don't know what is. She's amazing. She's just like, she just doesn't care, and she's going to do exactly what she wants when she wants.
It was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was absolutely delightfully bonkers. I'd have voted for her. That's the sort of thing that I would actually vote for. I'd love to see.
You don't think that the Italian Eurovision fans might be a little bit embarrassed to send her?
Well, no. If she gets to go, if she's voted for and she gets to go, then she's rightfully got her place there. You can't take that away from her. If they don't want her to go, then they need to vote for somebody else, don't they? But I think it'd be brilliant.
That's very true.
I think it'd be brilliant.
So, Lena, Michelle didn't mention anything about the actual song. What do you think of Loredana's song? In fact, any of the songs in the top 5?
I mean, I also think it's just a very strong year. I think like the default, instead of it being like maybe more ballad based, this year is very like electronic pop based. This is where I live, so like I even just choosing a top 10 I thought was really difficult. Yeah, but I thought of Loredana Berti, I was definitely, her song this year is one of my favorites that she's brought to the festival, and I do like, I think it would do well at Eurovision. I think she could do well, so I wouldn't be mad at it if it happened.
I know, and it'd be some competition for the Spanish singer, who's a lady of a certain age, singing a very strong message song as well. So Deodato and Mahmood, which did you prefer out of the two of them?
I love Mahmood. Mahmood's my guy. I definitely went into this being like, I'm not going to cheer for Mahmood again. He won too much. But then he's just coming so hard with the fashion, and just the song is really catchy. And then I don't know if you guys saw, but he was giving out little gold cell phones to people on like the Sanremo streets. There's video of him like giving some to like some little girls, and they're like these little old style like gold cell phones. So I love him. And then like I feel bad. I don't really like Deodato. That's gonna be my hot take. Sorry, everyone.
All right, fair enough. But Mahmood has changed. I didn't recognize him. He's got a lot softer look. Yeah, and his clothes are. All the men seem to be wearing very flowing, colourful, sparkly clothes. Right up your street, yes.
Oh, a million. I mean, leather is king this year. Everyone's at leather suits, leather shorts, leather. One of the Bunker 44s had a leather mini skirt on. It's just, yeah, I love it, but it's like, it's coming hard.
Okay, so after the first night, we got to learn about the top five. Then the second and third night, we heard half of the songs, and we got to find out the top five from each half. So we've got another idea of what's coming up. So the songs we're going to listen to now are the ones that came up on the rankings in nights 2 and 3.
Come sta iniziando a giovere, siamo due strani che si incontrano. Cercavi un modo per proteggermi, però non c'eri. Non mi sento tanto bene, però sarà che questa vita non la prendo mai sul serio. Scusami, ma può succedere, e scusami se ti ho fatto del male. Griderò il tuo nome fino a perdere la voce.
So all change on nights 2 and 3, and what we saw was that Annalisa went down, Deodato went down, Mahmood went down, Loredana Berti went down, and some of the songs that didn't do so well on the press night started to do better. Mikey, what was your take on the acts that suddenly appeared in the rankings?
Well, I have to admit, I was very surprised to see Mr. Rain in that one that came up in the last one. I didn't know where that came from. I'm not saying it was a bad song. I just thought there was others more deserving of that particular place, personally.
Who do you miss not having come into the top 5 so far then?
Oh, well, I think, again, like I just said, from the both nights, I think definitely not seeing Big Mama in those was really disappointing for me. Definitely one of my favourites of the lot.
Right. Michelle, Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked what was he called? Gali Casimir.
That was definitely a manatee, wasn't he? It's
we
not a
discuss
hippo.
whether it's a hippo or a manatee that kept appearing.
It's definitely a manatee.
But I thought that was quite funny. It's quite a nice song.
It was quite different from anything else, wasn't it?
It was,
A lot more American sounding.
Yeah, and he did turn up last night dressed as Michael Jackson off of the 80s.
Yeah.
Which was really good. I really like it because I think it's really sort of cool and has a really smooth vibe to it, but it's still modern at the same time. I really like that one, apart from the manatee, because if I want to look at a manatee, I just look in a mirror.
I wasn't so keen on, is it Giolier? The Neapolitan song. It wasn't a bad song, but I thought he sort of mumbled a little bit.
There's a bit too much.
Phil, can I stop you for a second? You need to be really careful what you say about Joliet, because he comes from Napoli and he's got a huge amount of support and you might be taken out before Saturday.
Okay.
All right. I think-
Say
I
the
think
wrong
I'm
thing.
smiling.
And it might be taken out. It might be taken out from me because I'm from Napoli. So
Oh,
okay.
no.
Oh, sorry,
Nobody
Eugenio.
tell Eugenio where we live.
But I mean, that's
Yeah, you
just
find
me, and
a horse's head.
it is obviously a
Go on.
popular song, so fair enough.
It's just the vocoder sort of
Yeah.
auto-tuney thing. It's not my thing, and it's been going on for a few years now.
But having
It
said
just
that,
puts me off a
I'm
bit.
going to agree with Mikey about Mr. Rain as well, because he really has some strong sort of vocoder sounds that I didn't think went with the song, and I don't know why they were there. He almost sounded like a Dalek, but there were some absolute corkers.
But
Apart
Mr.
from that-
Mr. Rain, I don't know why they bothered with that piano at the beginning. It just seemed a bit odd because we know he's not playing it, and he wasn't even sort of attempting properly to play it. But I really like the middle part and the end. I think it's really strong. It's just a shame about the beginning of it.
Irama's
Lena.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I like Irama, and so did Anita Volkmann. What I liked about Irama was his being to the gym every day since the last time he appeared in Sanremo. He looked absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to go over to Lena. Did you think Irama was buffed up?
The problem with Arama is the hair. It's always the hair. Every year, somehow, he has different hair. And every year, I think the hair can't get worse. And this year, the hair is somehow worse. Arama, you can never count him out because he's very popular. I feel bad. I have the same take on Mr. Rain. I know people who love him. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, I find like his songs a bit boring and his vocal isn't so great. And I feel like you got like we've all talked about Achille Lauro. Oh no, bringing it up. But like you could say what you will about his vocal, and a lot of people have, but he always brings like entertainment, a stage presence, art, fashion. Whereas I feel like Mr. Rain is like a yawn and somehow like boring. Like Super Roy from last year, I didn't understand why that was top 5. I was like thinking those poor kids stay up until 1 a.m. But he's popular. He's got the fan base. Same thing with Jolier. I understand he's very popular, and Napoli. Ooh. But I just think for him, he just needs to get a little oomph on his stage presence if he ends up going to Eurovision. Because I do like the song. I just think he's got to bring a little more. I think he's everyone's like favorite shy boy right now. Obviously, I want to talk about Gali a lot because I love Gali. Gali's my guy. I was very excited because he's been a rumor for many years. He was a special guest in 2020 with that memed around the internet gif of him falling down the stairs and making out with Fiorello in the crowd. So, the thing with him is being of like, he was born in Italy, but his parents are Tunisian. So there's always around him, he talks about like his first big hit was Cara Italia. And the line from that is, people tell me, when are you going home? And I tell them I'm already here. I think this song has the same sort of thing about your casa mia, casa tua, like, your house, my house, it's all the same. The grass is always greener. His manatee friend, who he's taken everywhere around, I love. It has its own Instagram account, and it's supposed to be like an alien from another planet that's like visiting. So it's like, not so subtle, about being an alien in Italy. I do think he's creeping up. So like every night he'll be closer to the stage. Like the first night he was at the door, last night he was in the crowd. So I think come Saturday he's going to be, he will have come together with Gali on stage. And Gali's fashion is amazing. I love him. He's 6'4", in case you're wondering. He's extremely tall. I was trying to think. Yeah, no, I love him, and I was really glad he got second place last night. So
I'm just astounded by the level of knowledge that our guests have got. It's just I make it up as I go along. I'd like to just say buonasera to Donna, who's just joined us in the studio. Hello, Donna. Buonasera tutti. Come stai?
Buonasera. I'm here. I'm here. It's been a long evening to get here, but I'm here. So, yeah.
Okay. Listen, what some of our guests will know, but others may not know, is that Donna has stood on a stage and sung a song from the Sanremo Festival from 60 years ago. 60 years ago this year.
Yes.
Give us a little taster. You've got to do it 10 seconds so we don't get taken off air.
No, that's just not fair, Andy. No.
Just the easy bits.
Oh, sing me in. Give me a build.
Noholeta.
That'll do.
Yay!
That was beautiful.
No
That was
warm
gonna
up
be
or
the
anything. Anything. Oh, this
Oh.
is going to go on the bloopers, isn't it?
With any
Andy.
luck. Yeah.
Stop.
Eugenio, your thoughts on the second and third nights? Eugenio's frozen.
Oh, he's frozen.
That's what he's been taken out by the mafia.
He's on
I
his
knew it was
way
going to happen
here.
to someone.
Yeah, he's on his way here to take me out.
I think he's back. He's back. No, he's not.
Right, Mikey, I'm going to ask you. You can please explain to us what it is about Joliet that is getting all the Eurovision fans and the Italian Sanremo fans so worked up.
Well, one of the main differences with Joliet's song is the fact that, again, what Amadeus was saying, there's a music revolution happening in Napoli at the moment, and everything that they had in sort of the past was all sort of like Spanishy, gypsy-like, sort of like that, all that sort of like style. And now there's this huge rap scene sort of coming out. And like I said, you have like Big Mama, Angelina Mango, Joliet. And the fact that I was so proud, the fact that I was actually introducing Joliet to Eugenio and said, "Oh, look who I found." He's like, "Who's this?" And I've been listening into it in the car. And then I was thinking, "Oh, this is going to be good." And then I don't know, I had a gelling with it. I like hearing that street Neapolitan sound. It's because, like, if it's spoken purely in Neapolitan, it's like a completely different language. The struggle to understand what's going on. And I know, even though he's doing so well, he's received a lot of backlash, especially from true Neapolitans, saying that he's not speaking true Neapolitan, he's speaking the street version of it. But maybe that's why people are gelling with it, because maybe the younger ones are thinking to themselves, I like the sound of this.
And Italy has never had a song in Neapolitan to win Sanremo. I don't even think there's been one in the contest before, because it was the Festival of Italian Song. They changed the rules to allow him to be in it. But in 1991, when Italy hosted Eurovision Song Contest, their home entry by Peppino, I can't remember his name, Peppi, was in the Neapolitan dialect. Right, we're going to move on. Now we're going to look at returning artists from the Eurovision Song Contest. ESC Fan TV, obviously. We come from a Eurovision angle, and every year we look out for who's come back from Eurovision, because basically it means we know who they are. This year there are quite a lot. So we're going to have a look, thanks to Ian, at the song that they went to Eurovision with and the song that they've come back hoping to go to Eurovision again.
Gira, gira, girerà la testa. Corro, corro avanti e torno indietro. Scappo, voglio, prendo. Lea. Dimmi che mai, che non mi lascerai mai. È come se tu fossi l'unica luce a dare un senso. Volevi solo soldi, soldi, come se avessi avuto soldi. Tutto con i brividi, a volte non si esprimermi. Ballavamo nella zona nord quando mi chiamavi fra, con i fiori fiori nella tuta gold, tu ne fumavi la metà. Che fai rumore qui? Parte di me che spera ancora che sia.
Wow. So back from 1978, Ricci e Poveri, and forwards in time. What I'd like to know is, for the chat room, you help us out here. Do you think that the Sanremo songs this year are better than their previous entries? Phil and Michelle, just in general, do you think they've come back with better songs or worse?
Oh, no, this is awful. I think they might be worse.
I don't know. I think Mahmood's is better than the song last year,
but
the
it's
one with
not
Blanco.
it's
But
not
it's
better
not as
than
good as Soldi, no. Richie e Poveri, oh, they were just great both times.
Diodato definitely not better, because obviously Fire Amore makes me cry every time I hear it, and it still does. So,
but yeah, they're still good songs.
Oh yeah, they are. Do you know what? I'm not sure if you can say they're sort of better. I think they're just different.
Yeah, I think I liked Emma's better, this year. The apnea one.
Oh yeah. I think. Do you know what? I think it's 50-50. To be fair, I've changed my mind, or I've gone a complete U-turn. But no, I think they are. I think they're completely different. I think that's the thing is you get hooked on the first one, and then you go, oh, it'll never be the same. And then give yourself a few weeks, and then you think, oh yeah, do you know, actually, yeah, this is good.
It is fair enough to say that by the end of the week, you've got to know the songs inside and out, and you feel differently about them from where you did when you first heard them. And every year I think, oh, do you know, it's not a great year. By the end of it, I think, oh, best year ever. And I will just say for one moment that Brividi is one of my favorite songs of all time. So obviously, I don't think Mahmood has come back with a better song. Eugenio, Ricci e Poveri. What happened in the intervening years? Did two of them die?
No. One of them has left the group actually in the 80s for personal reasons. Officially to pursue the solo career, gossip says for other reasons. There was a love story going on, apparently. And unfortunately, one of them has retired first, which was the founder, actually, has retired first and then passed away last year.
So it's gone from a 4-piece to a duo, is that right?
It's now a duo, yes. It's now a duo, but the most recognizable is probably Angela, which is the one that is still in the duo, because she always looks like she's on drugs when she sings. And she's not. I met her and she's actually like this. And at the beginning I was thinking, oh God. Now I actually have envy, because I would love to reach 76 with that energy. I'd love
Absolutely.
to.
Do you think Diodato had any chance of coming back? No.
The song is Fire Amore was a beautiful song. We had a lot of meaning, because literally it won Sanremo and then we went into lockdown. So we had Half of Italy. You can see the videos on YouTube, Half of Italy on balconies singing Fire Amore, which was the last song that came out with Freedom. So it was very emotional. We saw the performance at the Arena di Verona, empty. That was very powerful. This song is nowhere near. And this song is nowhere near. Absolutely, is nowhere near the power of Fire Amore. So I don't think he stand any chance, not even for the top 5. Honestly, lovely guy, but it's not.
And it came with the dance routine from Eurovision.
Yes, and which is nice. However, the song is a little bit slow for that kind of dance routine, so I don't really. When I read before watching, because we were allowed to watch the rehearsal on the first night. Before watching the first rehearsal, I read comments of people saying, "Oh, Diodato starts sitting on steps, and then there is a lot of dancer behind him." I was like, "Wow, that's gonna be a dance song, a high tempo song," and it wasn't. So I think I was also a little bit disappointed by that. Because Diodato, when Diodato does a little bit of up-tempo song, it does them very well.
Yeah. So Ian and Donna, we all went to Diodato's concert in London, where Fire Amore was beautiful, but stood out for being completely different from the rest of his songs.
Yeah.
And the song in the competition this year is more like Fire Amore. But tell us what you think of Diodato in general and his song this year.
I really got to warm up to Diodato initially with Fire Amore. I wasn't convinced, and then obviously, I say that moment happened that made it set alight, really, and it became memorable for so many other reasons. And the concert that he gave in London was absolutely fantastic. I think there were only a handful of us there that were not Italian. Or could really truly speak Italian as well. But the atmosphere was fantastic, and it was such a almost a bordello feel, wasn't it, with the band that he brought and the album that he was performing, and it was
because they've just come from stadium concerts into a tiny arena, a tiny stage with 200 people in the audience.
Yeah, it was crazy, but every one of those people appreciated it, and that's the main thing. And it's so nice to see Italian artists actually venturing out to the UK or to London and elsewhere occasionally, because it does seem a lot of the time very Italian focused in the music bubble that they have. And very few artists really venture outside of it. So, and in the most recent years, we've seen a lot more try and actually do even the smallest gigs over here, which has been really nice to see. But this song this year for Diodato, I think, it's more in keeping with his style, I would say. But I found it a little bit slow as well. It just has a bit of a ploddy pace. Which is a bit of a shame.
It's a shame. I think everything's always going to get compared to Fire Amore now, because Fire Amore has become so iconic because of the time. I didn't take Fire Amore straight away, but it grew on me because it's got this iconic status. It's going to overshadow everything else now.
Yeah,
did that song this year? I really like it. I think it's a beautiful song. He sings it fantastically. To be fair, he could sing the phone book and it would sound fantastic. But
Neil Fulcher has just said, in general, he thinks that the Eurovision songs were better than this year's Sanremo song. In general, I suspect he wasn't referring to Emma. Ian, what do you think of Emma's Eurovision song? Do you remember it?
One of the people actually quite liked it. Partly because it powered along and it worked well. I think at a Eurovision on that big stage. It was a bit of a powerhouse performance. So I think I know a lot of people don't go with it, but I thought it was a good one. I think overall I think one thing we're saying, trying to compare this year's songs with their previous entries. Their previous entries are very familiar to us. Yes. People said, these are songs we've known for years. We're very familiar with them. The other ones are very new. We've maybe heard them once or twice or on a recap, so they're still growing on us, or not growing on us. So the comparison is maybe slightly unfair at this stage, but no, I think overall they're pretty.
A lot of the artists came out and they went big though, and they did have iconic songs. So Mahmoud Soldi is going to be a hard one to beat.
And similar with Il Volo and Grandi Amore.
Yeah,
that's a big Eurovision classic.
Yeah,
in its style. They're always going to get that comparison, no matter how good their next song is.
I think actually the bonus with Ricky Poveri is that they are quite far removed back, aren't they, in the histories? So a lot of the newer audiences that may not have heard them before, ever.
I would suggest that I might be the only person that saw it live in 1978.
I've got good moisturizer, but it's definitely not me.
So listen, we were talking a bit of moments ago about Joliet and the shock that he's brought to Sanremo, and you just mentioned Mahmoud. Now he was in the Giovani in 2018, and he didn't win, but in 2019. I remember the first night he came last, and I'd stayed up and watched all the songs, and that last one I thought, oh, do you know, there's something about that, and he went from last to victory. Now I'm going to go over to Lena. Mahmoud, this is his third time in the main part of the festival. How do you think he's progressing or otherwise?
I mean, I think he's great. I mean, yeah, is it solely? No, but like it does seem to be getting a lot of radio play. It's still got that very catchy segment when he does the Cinque Cellulare and like the phone hanging up. It's like, could be, still another iconic kind of thing. I Again, like I want much like the same thing with Il Volo. I want to give other people space. I want other people to perform and be part of the festival and not take up too much air in the room. But then he came out that second time and did the song, and I was like, I love this. This is great. And also, I think like my hottest takes are like, I don't really care for Deodato. I don't like the dancers. I think the dancers are chaotic and they don't go with the song. And it really, like, the song's okay, and the dancers really put me off it. And I didn't want to come in liking Il Volo because I'm like, they've already won. They've been in a lot of years. But then, oh boy, when they sing that Capo Lavoro moment, I'm just like, so that's my guilty pleasure for sure. But I think, saying guilty pleasure versus like, it's not that it's not quality, but then like, you could, much like Arama, you can never count Mahmoud out. I think he's just always going to be in the mix, and he brings, like, he has his style, but his style is so different from other people. It's always going to stand out.
I think the solo singers can change their style possibly more easily than, say, Il Volo, where number one gets up and sings, number two gets up and sings, then they all three of them do it in harmony, and where it doesn't matter what you do with the song, they're going to perform it in the same way each time. Mikey, so you're relatively new to Sanremo. Are you new to Eurovision as well?
I am not new to Eurovision. I've watched it for a little while, obviously with my family and specifically with my mum when I was younger. More recently, gotten more in depth with it. Yes.
And I'm going to ask a question that I probably shouldn't ask. Which of the two festivals do you prefer?
Oh, that's a difficult one. I have to admit, I do love the energy of both. That's the thing. I don't think there's a particular preference that I have, but it's nice to know that the sort of like the roots come from Sanremo.
Well, that was a very, very diplomatic answer. So listen, it's and one that I would agree with as well. None of us like to say anything bad about the Eurovision Song Contest or about Sanremo, and can't choose between your favorite child, can you?
It's one of those things you pack onto one and then it's like, but no, they're both great.
Eugenia, tell us about what do you prefer? Of course, you prefer Sanremo. You're Italian.
I'm not at all politically correct. I prefer Sanremo, and also I wanted to say, because I read a lot of people saying about Geolier, he sings in Neapolitan, and it's the festival of the Italian song. Also in Italy, there is a lot of people saying that, and people have a very short memory because it's not the first song in Neapolitan that took part to Sanremo. There were many singers before. The last one was in 1999. It was called Nino D'Angelo with the song called Senza giacca e cravatta, which is entirely in Neapolitan. So even in Italy, I think people should read the book about Sanremo because they clearly forget very, very quickly.
So tell us how the Italians are taking to Eurovision. You came back to the competition in 2011 when it had a very tiny audience on TV, even though it was hosted by Raffaella Carrà, and she did an amazing job of it. But slowly it's increased in, I think, enjoyment and viewers. But what about in respect?
No, in respect now is completely changed since clearly Måneskin, since the Måneskin won. It's changed a lot. Is viewed more like a big festival, even in Sanremo, even in the press conferences, you see that they talk more about Eurovision. There are more songs. There are more questions in regards to Eurovision Song Contest to the singers. Would you go? Would you not go? Would you accept to go, etc. Loredana Bertè, by the way, said that she will go just purely to have the satisfaction to annoy her ex-Swedish husband. That's what she said.
Who's that?
Bjorn Borg, which is a famous tennis player of the 80s. They had a long and very bad love story, ended very badly for Loredana mainly. So there is a lot more talking about Eurovision as well. Probably because of Sanremo and the way Sanremo is structured, what we don't really appreciate is the fact that Eurovision is only 3 nights and is every other night, while we always rather to condense everything as much as we can. So probably if there were 3 consecutive nights, it would be even more successful in Italian, because we like period of time where we cannot talk about anything else but just that. You know, because if you go to Italy right now, there is nothing happening, nothing in politics. The parliament doesn't work. Like they do, but no one cares. It's just Sanremo, 24/7.
Well, that's that. I didn't realize it was that quite that popular. But I do know that Italians and people of Italian descent like to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. I had my hair cut yesterday, especially for this evening's show. And I walked into my barbers. They were playing Sanremo, and so for an hour, whilst I was having my bouffant done, we talked about nothing but Sanremo. Lena, in America, nobody's heard of Sanremo, have they?
Well, I mean, according to John Travolta, all the Americans are talking about it. I'm sorry. I know we need to not talk. It's not a song, but that was unhinged, man. It's like the token American at the festival. That was some wild nonsense.
For those that didn't see it, what?
So basically, they had a couple international guests. The first guest, Russell Crowe, was on yesterday, who I thought was charming and delightful. And then they had John Travolta on, and like he just seemed confused and not really game for like, you know, making like having like fun. And then like the hot talk about it was after they made him do the chicken dance, which was part of, because it was like they made him do like famous dances from his favorite films, like Saturday Night Fever, Pulp Fiction, and I'm being silly, I'm forgetting the third one, Grease. Apparently he did not sign the release form that would allow them to replay his performance. So like it's not in the replay, like on Raw. You can like it's been scrubbed from the history books. It can't be shown again. Of course, we live in the year 2024, so on the internet, everyone's reposting the chicken dance, you know, video. Thank goodness. So we as fans have preserved that important history. But I mean, in my neighborhood in New York, I am like a broken record. I'm telling everyone's like at the coffee shop, at my doctor's office, hanging out with friends. They're like, "What's your week been like?" And I'm like, "What's the Town Song Festival?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, you talk about that every year." And I'm like, "Yes." And we're going to be talking about it today. And I'm going to tell you about the highlights of it, and you're going to smile and nod.
Yeah, listen, we would go on.
Oh, I would just say, I mean, even the expat Eurovision fans here, especially the group in New York City, is like it's a lot of Spanish fans or Israeli fans and stuff, and they like Sanremo, but like they don't have the effort for it. So I have to be like kind of the one beating the drum, being like, "No, you will pay attention to this. You will watch it."
So backstage before the show started, we were going through what we were going to do and having a little bit of a rehearsal, and we knew that you were coming, as you always do, with a pin board and with lots of nice stories on. And somebody said, well, what's Lena doing this time? And I said, well, it's that Finola Manola. Who's that? Well, it's one of the old birds that was singing. So we were trying to work out which of the old ladies it was. And I said, no, it's the glamorous old lady that nearly won a couple of years ago. But actually, now you're telling me it's not Finola Manola.
No, it's Fiorillo.
On your board? Oh.
Yeah.
So tell us about...
I felt like there was no unifying factor this year. You know, maybe when we get to tomorrow, I'll be able to come up with one, because I know in other years, certain writers have had a lot of songs. Like last year, Dardust, I think, had 4 songs with his writing credit on it. But this year, he only has 1. So, but it might be a winner because it's Angelina Mango. So, you know, I do like his style a lot. So I was originally going to put together a chart of all his songs, but it didn't seem, you know, maybe next year. It didn't seem quite appropriate for this year. And then there's not, you know, I feel like the rappers this year, there's not too many specific that are like solely rappers, and they don't have a lot of features amongst each other. So I feel like they're very much like, you know, Gali is Milan, Joliet is Napoli. So, but But yeah, but I thought, Fiorello, he says every year he's not going to come back, and every year Amma twists his arm, and he does, and so I thought I put together a little like mood board of all his sort of like key moments, and like because he's had a radio show for a very long time. I think there's a young picture of him and Amma from the '90s. So when they originally met, became friends. He's also friends with Giovanotti, which I'm sitting in front of it. Here's him in The Talented Mr. Ripley, a famous in America film.
Wow. And so when you join us again on Saturday evening, Sunday morning at 2:00, maybe you could have a pin board for Gianni Morandi, who seems to come back year after year after year after year. We spotted him last night.
I do feel like it's a little easier for me to watch the Viva Rai Due after the show because of the time zones. So there's also been a lot of really fun. If you guys missed our Orietta Berti, she was on the after show Viva Rai Due and did a duet with La Sad. So that was a delight to catch.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we're going to be back. We're not finishing yet, but just telling you, we're going to be back on Sunday morning at about 1:30 or 2:00, just as soon as the final credits roll. And the first year we did it, we got about 1,000 people. It was just amazing. So we're looking forward to having a really good night, and we hope that everybody in the chat room will just stay up for another half an hour. We've got Neil, Dan, Anita. It would be lovely to see you all. And before that, we're all going to be joining Glitterbeam Radio. So Glitterbeam Radio were invited 2 years ago by Rai Uno to do the official English language commentary. An absolute honor for you guys, but a testament to how good you are. So Eugenia, Mikey, tell us what's coming on.
Hey, what is not coming on? We got the all night of the final to comment. We got guests from Australia. We got guests from Canada. We got guests from the Sanremo Oxford the Oxford study group of Sanremo. There is a whole study at the University of Oxford about the Sanremo Music Festival. We got a person in Sanremo, which will try to annoy every single singer once they've done. So we got a lot. But Andy, given that you are so kind to have us tonight, even because we are on air, not with Sanremo, with another show in an hour, I'm going to give you some things about tonight if you want, because I got the running order.
Oh, right.
So I can tell you that you can go to bed at 2:12 CET, which is 1:12 in UK. I can tell you there will be a prince in the audience, Albert of Monaco. And I can tell you that possibly to celebrate 27 years of trying to go to Sanremo and never managing anymore, there might be the 1997 winners, Jalis, which are not on the running order. However, there is a 156, a surprise guest. They should sing for 3 minutes.
3 minutes? The song's not a 3-minute song, though, is it really?
No, but you don't really want to hear Fiumi di Parole for more than 3 minutes after 27 years.
Or even 3 minutes.
I mean, I don't even want to listen to Il Tre for 3 minutes, but yeah.
So Eugenia, very, very importantly, please tell our audience how they can find Glitterbeam and why they should be listening to you whilst Sanremo's on.
Well, you can listen to us and watch it on Rai Play because it's not geolocked. Why you want to listen to us is because if you watch Rai Play, it's all in Italian and you understand nothing. So I'd say it's a good idea to tell you. At least we tell you what's going on and what's happening, and we tell you some bits and pieces, some curiosity about the music festival as well. On glitterbeam.co.uk or download the Glitterbeam app, which is available on iOS and Android. In UK and Malta, we are also on DAB, so you can listen in the car, or ask your smart home device, which I'm not going to name, otherwise I'm going to trigger mine, to open Glitterbeam.
Yes, and you don't have advert breaks. Is that right?
No, we don't. We usually do, but not during the night because it's too full. Actually, I don't know how we're gonna manage with all these people, including you guys, because you are gonna come on and at some point. It's the funny part is that it's not because we are unorganized, but as you can see, I received the running order now, which is 45 minutes before the show starts for tonight. Tomorrow is going to be the same. So usually the agreement with all of you guys and all the other guests is I'll message you around 7 o'clock and I'm going to tell you what time. Hopefully we'll be able to talk via Zoom if Amadeus decides to respect the timing. So
this time it's like that's actually quite early, right? Because normally it's like even later than that. It's like 5 minutes before the show starts. Oh, great.
This week, yes. The final is even worse. So it's a very last.
Eugene, could you just cover your ears for a second? Can I have a quick quiet word with Mikey? We're obviously delighted to have been invited, and we will be on that show. But apart from Lena, the rest of us are all Brits. And if you have us on at 5 to 1, we're going to be rat-arsed. If you have us on at 5 to 11, it'll just be me and Michelle that's rat-arsed. Everybody else will be sober. Oh, no, hang on. No, the Scottish, they'll be rat-arsed at 7 o'clock. So that's just to warn you.
But don't forget, like I said, we've got total control. So if anything happens, it's just mute.
Also, at 11 o'clock, Ofcom is not going to say anything. So who cares?
True. Well, that's okay.
Right.
Plus, Andy, tomorrow we've got a man that's half Belgian, half Italian as well with us. Axel
really?
Van.
No, Mikey.
Oh, Mikey Van. Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, he's coming on tomorrow as well. Aline found him for us.
Phil and Michelle, you better do the housekeeping bits. Where can people find ESC Fan TV?
Oh, no. I love this. This is my favourite bit. So don't forget to ding the dong our bell, like, subscribe, watch everything we've ever done on YouTube ever. And we're on X, formerly Twitter. We're on Mastodon. You're on
what?
Mastodon. Phil does Mastodon. I think he's got about 3 followers now. He's doing quite well on it.
Is that because you're not putting out to him and he has to Mastodon?
Well, I don't care what he does. That's in his private time. That's his own business. But anyway, go find Phil on Mastodon. I don't know what it is, but it must be dull and boring for middle-aged men. We're on.
Is Garley's friend on Mastodon?
How many friends have you got on Mastodon?
The little manatee, is he actually on Mastodon?
Yeah, I have no idea. Actually, I'll have a look.
Phil will find it. Whatever
it's like Twitter for people who don't like Twitter, basically.
I don't like Twitter, but I don't like Mastodon even more. Come and have a look on TikTok. I post every day on TikTok a little snippet of shows and stuff and bits that are going on or what's happening. What else is it? Oh, Instagram. Yeah, I do that on Instagram.
It's all down at the bottom on the banner.
Oh, God, it is, yeah.
All right.
Instagram,
yeah.
TikTok.
So obviously, we're not going to be watching anything else
YouTube.
Other than Sanremo. Have you got any other shows this week?
Oh, God, yeah, we have Saturday.
Good heavens. Yeah, it's a big night, isn't it? We've got.
Well, hang on. Let me get my big black book of doom. Got my big book of doom out. Hang on. So we've got on Saturday. Oh, not that. That's how to use the internet. On Sunday, the 11th of February, at 7 p.m. UK time, 8 p.m. Central European time, we have Lithuania Heat 5, which includes the Roop, which we're all looking forward to, and Finland's final as well. Then at 8 o'clock UK time, 9 o'clock Central European time, we have Melfest Heat 2, and we have Latvia final.
Excellent.
That's it for Sunday.
What? Apart from Sunday morning.
Oh yes, of course.
That counts as well. I put that in as Saturday so that it didn't clog Sunday up too much. But yeah,
I've got some very bad news for you. I have to bring hot off the press that Neil will not be joining us.
Why?
On Sunday morning because he's got a 7:30 start on Sunday morning. But
you can always catch up. It's all on YouTube. You can go anytime you want and watch any show we've ever done. ever.
What, even the one where I was really drunk on the Icelandic final 3 years ago?
Oh God, yeah, we got the, if we didn't have anything on there where nobody was drunk, there'd be nothing on there.
Right.
If you look
Okay,
at
we're coming to the end of our hour. Oh, do you like my t-shirt?
No,
We're coming to the end of our hour, and I wanted to finish by I'm not quite sure how many people realise that there is a connection between a very special Eurovision and Sanremo star and another very special Sanremo star who might be going to Eurovision. Ian, play the video. So the first is Mia Martini. She was in Eurovision Song Contest in 1978 and 1992, and she was one of the biggest stars of all time in Sanremo. Very, very much loved. That song, Tu nell'universo, is possibly the greatest song ever in Sanremo. Didn't do very well. Loredana Bertè, well, she's a completely different kettle of fish, but they are sisters. That's the thing about the two of them. Mia passed away in 1992. Loredana is still going strong. If she makes it to Eurovision, and remember, she was first on the first night of Sanremo, she'll be joining her sister. Eugenio, you're the Italian amongst us.
Yes.
You've got 20 seconds again to tell us the history of Mia Martini, Loredana Bertè, and Sanremo.
Mia Martini and Loredana Bertè as a sister, they had a love-hate relationship towards their life. But when Mia Martini passed away after a very dark period of her life, due to the fact that a lot of journalists and press was giving her really hard time, and at some point it was spreading voices that she was an unlucky person to meet, and she would bring she would bring bad luck to everybody, and she was completely isolated. But Loredana, they actually participated in Sanremo in 1993 together with a song called Stiamo come siamo. And of course, the death really affected Loredana for a long time and her mental health, and she's never been shy about it. And that's one of the reasons why people love her so much, because she's been always very honest. Loredana hasn't had a very lucky life. The marriage was a horrible marriage. She lost her sister. And as usual, when like it happens in this situation, when Mia Martini dies, everyone was like, oh my God, we lost one of the best voices. We love her so much. Pity that they haven't shown that all the time when Mia Martini was actually still alive. And that was probably a pity. So I think there is also this sentiment and this feeling towards Loredana, sort of protection, which, and you can see it, you can see in her eyes. Loredana is almost 80-year-old. She looks like a kid on that stage. If you look at Loredana's eyes when she sings, she's genuinely happy. She's genuinely happy just to be there. So I just thought that.
Do you think sorry, Eugenie, do you think the youngsters have the same connection, so that she might actually win on Saturday night, or do you think that Monday was just like an honorarium for her?
It's just the press, and it will be an honorary thing. But there is an award in Sanremo, a collateral award, which is entitled to Mia Martini, which is the Critique Prize. And should Loredana Bertè win that prize for the first time, it will be like closing a circle for her anyway. So I wish at least that for her.
Excellent. Right, we've come to the end of our hour. It's exactly 7 o'clock. We've got just about enough time to get some food in, because in 40 minutes' time, Sanremo is kicking off again. This evening, all 30 contestants sing a duet, which is not their Sanremo entry, they still get voted for, and it still counts towards the winning song for a reason I don't understand. So we've got to watch. And then Saturday night is the big final. Please join Glitterbeam Radio from, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock.
7:30.
7:30. And then if you stick around, join us at, who knows, 1:30, 2 o'clock. And it's going to be fabulous. It's going to be wonderful as always. I would like to thank Phil and Michelle, not least for inviting me to come back and host. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. You're doing a great job taking over the running of ESC Fan TV.
It wouldn't be the same without you, Andy.
It's amazing what you can do when you've had half a bottle of gin, isn't it?
Who's had half a bottle of gin? Oh God, she has. Normally it's the Scottish people you expect to be on the booze early. Thank you, Ian and Donna. It's been lovely having you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And it was nice to finally get here. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Lena, thank you for making your way out of work. Do you have to go back to work?
No, I've told them now that it's done. I was like, I have to go. I have they know I have my yearly Italian show. It's very important to me. I have to be there.
Wonderful.
Also, I feel bad. I feel like we didn't talk about Annalisa at all. So I feel like I just got to throw it out there. It's her year, babes. It's her year. She should go. She deserves it.
We want to surprise everybody when she wins on Saturday, and then we can say, we told you so. Yeah. The problem is that 30 songs, 30 singers, you can't talk about them all, particularly as YouTube allows us that tiny little snippet of any song. But you're right. It would be lovely if Annalisa won. She's not going to do. Mikey and Eugenio, you've got a show starting any moment. It's not a Eurovision show. What is it?
So this is my show. It's the Limitless Project, and I am going to touch on Sanremo just a little bit, but just a touch because tomorrow is all about Sanremo, and I'm really, really excited for it.
Oh well, we're going to be joining it. No, we're not. We're watching Sanremo. But we might catch up with you later on. Thank you all so much. It's been wonderful. Thank you to Dan. Thank you to Neil. Thank you to Thomas. Anybody else that's in the chat room that I can't see now. I've got 3 private chat messages. I'm going to read them after the show, just in case they're rude. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you Sunday morning, first thing.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we're good. We're done.